Hi, my name is Sheena and I'm the founder and director of Rose Cosmetics, and I'm here to introduce you to our Liquid Love. Liquid Love is a liquid to satin blush that comes in 3 universally flattering shades. We made Liquid Love to be your go-to staple in your makeup kit to be able to take on all of your adventures of life. That being our goal, we created our product to be long-lasting, transfer-proof, super pigmented, and can be used on bare skin, as well as cream and powdered products. Run, jump, cry, swim, or laugh, Liquid Love is here with you. Liquid Love, made with love, made to last. Rose Cosmetics was built on 3 principles, the first being clean. Today we live in a world conscious of everything that could be bad for us in terms of what we physically consume, but rarely do we think about what we're indirectly consuming through our beauty routines. A lot of common ingredients in cosmetics today are endocrine disruptors, which means they affect hormone levels, which can lead to tumor, reproductive organ issues, and more. They can also be carcinogenic, aka cancer-causing, and hazardous for both your body and skin. However, don't fret, here at Rose, we've carefully formulated the perfect product for all skin tones and skin types, minus the risk of dicey ingredients. Our second principle is sustainable. To us, sustainability means more than just not using plastic in our packaging. Here at Rose, we've carefully considered the environmental impact at each and every step of how we choose our manufacturers to the creation of our products. Here's a little animation to illustrate some of our sustainable components.
Shadows play on idle aims. I lose myself, I do. But I find my way to velvet change. I'll crash right into it will caught in a way. I will carry you over. It don't matter where we are. You're still the one I choose. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the moon. And in the dark times, you don't have to question. If I'm on where we are, you can put emotion.
Our last principle at Rose is to be kind. We are proud to say that we are 100% cruelty-free and vegan certified. This means no animals were harmed in the making and sourcing of our products. During our process, we consciously decided to team up with companies that are complying with international standards of health and safety for their working conditions, legally employ their workers, and provide them with fair pay. These companies are also ethically sourced all of their ingredients used for our production. All companies that we work with are audited and certified safe and competent by international auditors such as BSCI and ISO. And to ensure your health and safety, we are also BAPOM and Halal certified. And that is the foundation of Rose.
Shadows play on idle aims. I lose myself, I do. But I find my way to velvet change. I'll crash right into it will caught in a way. I will carry you over. It don't matter where we are. You're still the one I choose. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the moon. And in the dark times, you don't have to question. If I'm on where we are.
Hi, my name is Sheena and I'm the founder and director of Rose Cosmetics, and I'm here to introduce you to our Liquid Love. Liquid Love is a liquid to satin blush that comes in 3 universally flattering shades. We made Liquid Love to be your go-to staple in your makeup kit to be able to take on all of your adventures of life. That being our goal, we created our product to be long-lasting, transfer-proof, super pigmented, and can be used on bare skin, as well as cream and powdered products. Run, jump, cry, swim, or laugh, Liquid Love is here with you. Liquid Love, made with love, made to last. Rose Cosmetics was built on 3 principles, the first being clean. Today we live in a world conscious of everything that could be bad for us in terms of what we physically consume, but rarely do we think about what we're indirectly consuming through our beauty routines. A lot of common ingredients in cosmetics today are endocrine disruptors, which means they affect hormone levels, which can lead to tumor, reproductive organ issues, and more. They can also be carcinogenic, aka cancer-causing, and hazardous for both your body and skin. However, don't fret, here at Rose, we've carefully formulated the perfect product for all skin tones and skin types, minus the risk of dicey ingredients. Our second principle is sustainable. To us, sustainability means more than just not using plastic in our packaging. Here at Rose, we've carefully considered the environmental impact at each and every step of how we choose our manufacturers to the creation of our products. Here's a little animation to illustrate some of our sustainable components.
Shadows play on idle hands. I lose myself, I do. But I find my way to velvet change. I'll crash right into you. It will caught in a way. If I will carry you over. It don't matter where we are. You're still the one I choose. When my head goes in different directions, you know my walls never on the moon. And in the dark times, you don't have to question. If I'm on where we are, you can put emotions.
Our last principle at Rose is to be kind. We are proud to say that we are 100% cruelty-free and vegan certified. This means no animals were harmed in the making and sourcing of our products. During our process, we consciously decided to team up with companies that are complying with international standards of health and safety for their working conditions, legally employ their workers, and provide them with fair pay. These companies are also ethically sourced all of their ingredients used for our production. All companies that we work with are audited and certified safe and competent by international auditors such as BSCI and ISO. And to ensure your health and safety, we are also BAPOM and Halal certified. And that is the foundation of Rose.
Halo semuanya, selamat datang di Career Chat, How to Have a Successful Career in Tech, yang diadakan oleh Fempire pada siang hari ini. Perkenalkan aku Intan, and it's an honor for me to be your host today. Di event ini, kami telah mengundang beberapa narasumber untuk sharing ke kalian semua bagaimana caranya untuk kita bisa sukses dalam berkarir di industri teknologi. Nah, sebelum kita masuk ke sesi pertama, aku mau make sure dulu bahwa koneksi kalian aman dan tidak terkendala jaringan agar bisa mengikuti acara ini dari awal sampai akhir dengan baik dan tentunya lebih fokus ya. Nah, untuk teman-teman yang baru join, kami persilakan untuk bisa langsung tulis aja di chat box kalian nama kalian, asal kota, dan juga pekerjaan kalian, because we absolutely want to know about you guys. So yeah, dan event ini disponsori oleh Rose Cosmetics, dan kita juga ingin berterima kasih banyak kepada media dan juga community partner untuk acara ini, yaitu Antia, Girls Code, Woman Beyond, Tech for ID, SGIT, Love Me Love You, dan juga Cornerstone Careers. Nah, jadi di Career Chat kita pada hari ini kita akan ada satu keynote speaker, yaitu Maria Yeti Khim, seorang product advisor dari Telkom. Dan ada 3 orang panelis lainnya. Para panelis kita pada hari ini datang dari berbagai background pekerjaan. Yang pertama ada Kak Siti Hediningsih, yaitu seorang Senior Consultant Leader dari Glens. Lalu ada juga Kak Putri Ratnasari, yaitu seorang Senior Tech Recruiter dari Tabsquare. And last but not least, ada Kak Radhika Bakchandani, yaitu seorang HRBP dari Tanihub. Nah, dari para pembicara kita yang luar biasa pada hari ini, kita akan belajar banyak sekali tentang bagaimana peran perempuan di industri teknologi. Selain itu, kita juga akan mendapatkan pemahaman bagaimana tantangan yang dihadapi perempuan di industri teknologi dan juga stigma-stigma apa aja sih yang melekat pada diri mereka. Oh wow, we would love to say hi to all you guys. Ada Bishka dari Jakarta, hello. And then oh, ada Naya. Oh, ada juga Shiva, live from Jakarta. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you all, Fempres. It's very exciting today. Nah, teman-teman, selain informasi tentang industri teknologi yang akan bermanfaat tentunya untuk kita semua, kita juga punya satu lagi nih, benefit dari acara ini, yaitu kita ada giveaway. Nah, giveaway ini akan kita persiapkan untuk 2 orang pemenang yang beruntung. So ya, jangan sampai kalian gak fokus untuk memperhatikan sesi keynote speaker dan juga para panelis ya, soalnya akan ada hadiah untuk pemenang games di akhir sesi nanti. So ya, stay tuned guys, stay tuned until the end. Selain games, ada satu lagi cara untuk menang giveaway-nya. Selama acara ini berlangsung, kalian bisa sharing experience kalian, pengalaman kalian selama ikut career chat di Instagram story kalian. Dan jangan lupa untuk mention kita @Fempire_ID, again @Fempire_ID di Instagram, dan juga jangan lupa pakai hashtag Vampire State of Mind. Nah, experience yang kalian share boleh berbentuk video atau foto, terus kalian juga bisa tambahin pendapat kalian yang bisa berupa insights or quotes or maybe some tips tentang event di career chat ini. Kami akan pilih story yang paling kreatif dan tentunya interesting untuk pemenang giveaway ini. Oke. Sebelum kita mulai masuk ke sesi utama, akan ada opening speech terlebih dahulu dari perwakilan Founders Fempire, yaitu dari Madeline Rantung or Mandy, Rahmani Nityudo, dan juga Yorin Anggari. Mungkin mereka bisa memberikan sepatah 2 patah kata secara singkat tentang Fempire dan tentunya bagaimana sih perasaan mereka tentang event pertama Fempire ini. Kami persilakan.
Hai semuanya, thank you so much udah datang ke event ini. Perkenalkan, nama aku Madeline, aku salah satu co-founder dari Fempire. Aku juga Fempire's Chief of Social Impact. Aku, Mani, dan Yorin, the co-founders of Fempire. Sebenarnya kita udah temenan lebih dari 10 tahun, dari kita SD sampai sekarang udah lulus kuliah. Sejujurnya background dan interest kita tuh lumayan beda-beda sih, tapi one thing we have in common dari dulu, itu diskriminasi yang kita hadapi sebagai cewek di Indonesia. Mulai dari kecil, dari orang tua sendiri, sampai sekarang di kantor. Dan dari dulu emang kalau aku misalnya mau cerita tentang ini ya, aku curhatnya ke Yorin, ke Ramani, karena emang mereka udah menjadi support system aku.
Ya, hai semuanya, selamat datang di Career Chat, our first event. Nama aku Yorin, co-founder dan juga Chief Development Officer here in Fempire. Yang udah diceritain Mandy ya, kita tuh sebenarnya bertiga tuh kayak komunitas kecil sendiri, kita selalu support each other, we're there for each other. Nah, karena itu tuh kita pengen bikin komunitas yang lebih berskala besar untuk kalian juga, karena kita tahu how important and how valuable a community is. Kita udah tahu juga ya banyak banget di budaya Indonesia, banyak banget stigma, stereotype yang bener kayak enggak, yang discriminatory banget. Jadi tuh we're here to provide you a community where you can feel supported, where you can feel like you can do everything that you want to do.
Hai semuanya, aku Rahmani. Aku juga salah satu co-founder di Fempire dan juga Chief Marketing Officer. And di acara hari ini, kalian akan ketemu sama perempuan-perempuan yang sangat inspiratif, kuat, dan juga cerdas. Dan kami juga percaya kalau kalian juga pasti bisa, asal ada kemauannya. Apalagi kayak di industri teknologi yang sangat male-dominated, kami ingin nunjukkan ke kalian kalau itu tuh sebenarnya nggak apa-apa. Kalian bisa lakuin apa aja yang kalian mau, Dan kami dari Fempire harap bisa membentuk komunitas perempuan yang saling support one another dengan persamaan dan perbedaan kita untuk bisa menjalani hidup yang kita inginkan. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy this event.
Thank you so much, Mani, Mandy, and also Yoren. Wow, very inspiring. This is a friendship goal that is quite such an inspiration for us. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Nah teman-teman, event kita hari ini disponsori oleh Rose Cosmetics, an Indonesian-based and sustainable and clean beauty brand committed to making each and every step of their business ethically and environmentally responsible. Dan aku mau mengundang founder dan juga director dari Rose Cosmetics, yaitu Kak Sheena Chopra, untuk sharing tentang brand beauty yang very inspiring ini. Kepada Kak Sheena Chopra, kami persilahkan.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me today. Perkenalkan, nama saya Sheena. Like Kak Chanda just said, I'm the founder and director of Rose Cosmetics. So we're a local brand that just launched, and we prioritize the sustainability and clean beauty, as well as empowering women and people of all gender shapes and sizes. It's really important for us to create a world that we want to see, and what we wanted to see was more ethical and sustainable partnerships and brands in the world today. So all of our products are completely clean. They're formulas, so they're free from parabens, sulfates, phtalates, anything that can harm your skin, as well as our packaging is all completely sustainable and recyclable. So those are important aspects, as well as empowering people to be authentically yourself. And our logo and our motto is be your own sun. So we believe in, being the reason that you get up every day and valuing yourself first. And putting your best foot forward, whether it be with makeup, whether it be empowering yourself through your workspace, whatever it is, we believe in the importance of being you and being incredible women that we are.
All right, thank you so much, Kak Sheena Chopra. That is honestly very inspiring, and we love the value of your brand. Like,
thank you very
keep
much.
on going. Thank you so much. Oke, untuk sesi keynote kita pada hari ini, kita akan ada special guest all the way from the United States. And she is Maria Yeti Khim. Yeti adalah seorang product advisor di Telkom dan mempunyai resume yang sangat impressive. Nah, sebelum beliau menjadi product advisor, Yeti bekerja sama dengan Pak Menteri Edukasi, Pak Nadiem Makarim di Gojek, di mana Yeti berhasil menjadi VP Product di Gojek selama 4 tahun. Nah, hari ini beliau akan sharing bersama kita adventure-nya di dunia industri teknologi dan bagaimana beliau bisa meraih kesuksesannya pada hari ini. So guys, please know that this presentation is going to be delivered in English. Nanti setelah presentasinya, kita juga akan membuka sesi tanya jawab ke teman-teman sekalian. Jadi make sure to drop your questions, comments, or anything to Miss Maria Yeti di chat Zoom. Nah, without further ado, I would like to introduce you all to our keynote speaker, Miss Maria Yeti Khim. Hello, Miss Yeti Khim. How are you?
Hello, selamat kenal. Welcome, everyone. So excited to meet and talk to you today.
We're very delighted to have you here. Would you please give us a little bit of introduction of yourself, Miss Yeti?
Sure. So like that said, I've been working as a product advisor at Telkom, actually building some products for education for the last year. But before that, I was 4 years at Gojek as the head of product for GoFood. And my first job in tech was actually at Dropbox in San Francisco. So I moved from the US to Indonesia 5 years ago. And now this fall, I'm back in the US to head to MIT for my MBA. So been a little bit around the world lately. And yeah, really excited to share with you my story and what I've learned along the way.
Thank you so much. We are so ready to soak up all your experiences and wisdom and learn a lot from you today. So yeah, you have like a presentation for us, right?
Yeah, let's
We
go
really
and do it.
appreciate that. Thank you so much for making it for us. So yeah, we would love to let you give us everything that you've got and share to us all your experiences. And yeah, we're ready. Please, Miss Yeti.
Sounds good. So hello again, everyone. Really excited to start. So why don't we just go ahead? I think we can go to the next slide. Oh, great. So here's a little bit more about me. So actually, where I started, I graduated with a French major from a very small, nerdy school in the woods in near Philadelphia in 2010. And so I've been working for the last 10 years across a couple different industries, consulting, technology, and startups, now education, and actually been working across US, Korea, where my family's from, and most recently Southeast Asia. And now I'm just about to start my school again. So back to school for me in the fall to pursue an MBA program at MIT Sloan. So I'm at another turning point myself in my career. And I'm just going to share a little bit of my story, what I've learned, in hopes that it'll help you in your journey ahead. And I also wanted to emphasize today's meant to be an open discussion. So yeah, please leave all your questions and thoughts or comments, and we'll have a chance to discuss in just a little bit. So next. Yeah, so what do I plan to cover together today? So again, a little bit about my foray or story into tech and a journey thereafter over the last now almost 7 years, and share with you a little bit of what a day in tech looks like, especially from a product manager point of view, which is the role I've taken and mostly focused on. And from that, share a little bit about the good parts about tech, but also some of the challenging parts that I've endured along the way, and hopefully share some key takeaways and lessons learned, and as much as possible, try to give some advice that might be relevant to you. If we go next. Okay. So this is just to start on what, how I got into tech. So I think most people will have the same perhaps journey as me. It may seem like a straight line, but actually there's a lot of twists and turns along the way. If you go to the next slide. And so for me, there were a couple different aspects that got me into tech. So as you saw earlier, I started with a French major. When I majored in French, I wasn't really thinking about, oh, I'm going to be a PM in 5 years, right? So if you guys are already starting to plan and be curious about tech, then I think you're a few steps ahead of where I was when I started my journey in my career. And really the things that got me here are 4 parts. There were some relationships, also a little bit of serendipity, willingness to be open-minded and curious, and to take a risk. And so when I first started working, I started actually consulting. I did consulting in Boston for a few years. It was a management consulting firm, so something similar to McKinsey or Bain or BCG, if you've heard about that industry. And during the time when I was in consulting, I very much enjoyed it, but there was a little bit that I felt was missing in terms of the impact. Like I didn't feel like I was really seeing all the projects I was doing all the way till the end, because consulting is about giving advice, right? So we give our advice to our clients, and then after that, it's really up to them to see what happens or to decide what happens. So I felt like I wasn't really going the whole way in terms of seeing my projects through. And while I was in consulting for 3 years, and then I got a call from my friend. She was working with me as a consultant before, and she had already moved to San Francisco and started as a product manager. So she told me she had just joined a company called Dropbox. Some of you might know or have used the products, and said she would love for me to come and have an interview for the business strategy team. So the business strategy team is basically a team of analysts that work with the COO to set sales strategies, to do annual and monthly performance reports, etc. So more on the business side, but I thought it was something exciting. So I went over, and sure enough, the company culture I thought was really inspiring, very humble and curious people. What Dropbox is trying to do to help people have a more productive day-to-day and create more innovation in the world, I thought was also inspiring. So I decided, why not? Let's take a little bit of risk here. What do I have to lose? So, and then, like second major, I would say, step into the startup world was, I was 2 years into Dropbox. And then through one relationship led to another. And I was able to meet with the founders of Gojek, so Nadeem and Kevin. At the time, they were still fundraising for the Gojek launch. So this is even before the app had launched. And so I knew about Gojek, thought it was intriguing, but I was so much enjoying my job at Dropbox that I was not quite interested. And then I actually had a visit to Jakarta. And then when I saw the Gojek drivers, I just felt in love with the story and felt like this is something that I can feel the impact that this product is having. I want to be part of the story. And so I asked Nadeem and Kevin if I could take a product manager job, because I'd been on the business side. I saw what the engineering product designers were doing in terms of really helping to build the product. I thought that was even one step closer to the impact. And surely enough, I was able to get the job to work as head of product for GoFood. So it was really a lot of things that were not planned, I would say. And it reminds me again of some advice I'd heard while I was at Dropbox. So while I was at Dropbox, we had invited Condoleezza Rice. She's the ex-Secretary of State of the US. And someone had asked her, hey, how did you plan your career? And she said, I did it. I didn't plan my career, actually. I just made sure every day when I came to work, whatever job I had, I did my best. And when I did my best, the next doors would open. So that's actually how my journey into tech happened as well. So really just keeping my head up in terms of my day-to-day, doing my best and being open to other opportunities that came along the way. Next. So I want to share a little bit now about what a day in tech looks like from my vantage point for the last 5 years, which is as a product manager. So what is a product manager? This has been my own definition of it. I think of the product manager as a conductor or champion that solves problems and creates values for users, right? While also achieving the business goals and enabling the cross-functional teams to succeed together. So why I say conducting is, conducting means they play a leadership and coordinating role. But as any great leader knows, a great leader doesn't do all the work or make all the decisions, but rather a great leader creates the environment that encourages the best insights to surface from all team members. So they also play this role of coordinator to make sure that the work is delivered harmoniously or collaboratively, and make sure, really as simple as it sounds, great teams, in the end, great teams build great product, and dysfunctional teams will create dysfunctional products. So really from the vantage point of product manager, this is what we need to do. Next. So this is what a day-to-day PM looks like. This is actually a screenshot of one of the PMs on my team working with me right now. So it's a lot of, you'll see it's really a lot of back-to-back meetings and discussions, of course, especially the past year since we're not in person. So it's a mix of managing the now. There's elements of championing the team, so doing one-on-ones with teams and stakeholders, practicing active listening, making sure we communicate effectively. So regular cadences with the team and stakeholders. In the next slide, there's a few more notes. Yeah, and then a PM also needs to plan for the future, right? So there'll be meetings about OKR or KPI planning. What will the next roadmap look like? Design workshops to plan for the next feature. So all these activities planning for the future. And finally, activities to analyze, synthesize, and build knowledge within the team. And that's where you get to do a little bit of individual or deep work. So that's a little bit of what the day-to-day looks like. Next. So now to share a little bit of, reflecting back on my years in startup. I think the parts that I've really loved about the startup ecosystem is one, the innovative and impact-driven culture, two, the fast-paced growth. And really when a company is growing quickly and expanding quickly, it actually means a lot of opportunities for each person in the company to grow as well. And finally, there's a sense of kind of freedom and empowerment to make your own decisions, to learn by your own mistakes. And these I felt like have really contributed to the challenges I faced, the fun I've had, but also a lot of the learnings and growth I've experienced the last 5 years. Next. Yeah, so of course, it's also been, I would say, kind of really a roller coaster ride. And some of the challenges I've faced during that time is I've faced burnout pretty seriously for the first time in my career. Part of it was due to imposter syndrome, so feeling like I wasn't enough or I wasn't qualified for my role. Three was also challenging, especially since we're in a group of women here today, is unequal representation. So tech has a reputation for being very male-driven and male-oriented. That's definitely was true of the companies I worked at. So sometimes a little bit challenging not seeing your mentors and managers reflect, the person you were. And finally, I talked about freedom and empowerment before. But on the flip side of that, one of the challenges also to navigate unstructured chaos, right? So it's kind of like free, but also, so you can think of it almost as a playground or as like a jungle. So actually these challenges, a lot of them are all kind of just flip sides of some of the parts that I did enjoy about tech. Next. So in terms of, facing all these challenges, there are a couple of different things that really helped me get through them. So I've been doing therapy and meditation pretty consistently over the last few years. When I got really burnt out, I actually took time off for 2 months. And one of the things I did was do a silent meditation retreat for 10 days. And then when I came back, I made changes in my scope and role to make my job work for me instead of just the other way around, right? Me working for the job. And this helped me really build a sense of agency where I was taking control of my life, my work, how I wanted to set my work-life balance. And finally, what really helped me is to be more reflective and intentional with my life, how I spent my time and energy. And most importantly, not being ashamed or guilty to speak up and have my needs met. And these have been skills that have helped not just in my work, but I would say in the rest of my life as well. Next. So what have I learned? It's probably my favorite part, I think, to share. And these are just 2 quotes that I enjoy from 2 thought leaders. If we can go to the next slide. So a few things I want to share with you in case it's helpful for your journey. First thing I've learned is, life is really not a straight line. And also that there's not, just one door. So if, for example, if you are thinking about tech, there's not a specific role or a specific company you have to do in order to join. So there's a lot of different ways to get to your end goal. And I would say it's important to have that coba aja and pasti ada jalan attitude, and it'll take you places. Second is planning ahead. I've learned only goes so far. So again, to reflect on the quote and advice that I heard early in my career, I think the most important thing I found is to commit and do your best in the present. And that's always going to be worthwhile, and it will open doors for you in the future, and it'll even open doors that you might not even have imagined. So when I was doing my French major, when I was doing consulting, I would never have imagined I would end up in Indonesia or end up working as a product manager. These are just not things I ever planned, but then ended up being able to do and really enjoyed. Third is, say a job title does not define who you are completely or permanently, right? I think it's important to know you are what you make yourself to be, and you can always transform yourself, right? And I think having that sense of agency and confidence about yourself and knowing you can transform tomorrow and the next day is really empowering. Next. So a few more things. So what I've also learned is to have a growth mindset. It will really take you farther each day. So really cultivate that. And if you if you don't know what the growth mindset is, definitely check it out. The book by Carol Dweck. It was the woman I shared the quote about earlier. It's basically thinking of yourself and your brain as something that can grow and change and evolve, and really thinking about each challenge as an opportunity to grow rather than an opportunity to just fail. And then after that, I would have also learned through the hard way is that a tired body, mind, and soul will, take you nowhere or nowhere really good. So make sure to take care of yourself. Burnout is something that is also a pretty prevalent issue in tech. So taking care of your mental health, your well-being, that's very important and sometimes overlooked. Finally, I realize tech might not be for everyone, but I do believe everyone has a chance to build a successful tech career if you want it. So I'll share a few more pieces of advice next on how to do that. I'm going to go to the next slide. So I've been asked to share what a step-by-step guide to building a successful career in tech looks like. If you remember the drawing I showed before, what I want to say is there's actually no one guide. So, your journey could look very different from other people. When I look at my journey versus my peers in tech, it's all very different. So I think to each their own. You each have your own reasons and story and ways to get there. But I think there's a couple things I would advise if you are thinking of joining tech, and where I'll end on the next slide. Can we go to the next slide, please? So if you are looking to build a successful career in tech or really anywhere else, I would do these 4 things, or this is what I would have told myself in my younger years. So first, I think this is actually the most important, is to know yourself, right? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Then ask yourself, what kind of experiences do I want in my life, right? For me, when I thought about moving to Indonesia, this is one of the experiences I thought would be really enriching, to go to a foreign country, to be a product manager, to learn something new. So even if Gojek at the time was not, as big as it was, even if Gojek failed and closed down in 6 months, and I went through all the worst case scenarios, I thought that 6 months would have still been worth it. This is an experience I would still love to have. So ask yourself that question, what kind of experience do you want in your life? And third, do your research. Once you know a little bit about who you are, what you want, then do your research and pick companies, pick industries, but also, I'd say most importantly, pick a culture and group of people, right? Because that will make all the difference in your day-to-day, and whether you enjoy it or not, how much you grow, how much you're challenged. And then finally, when you do get there, by your own means, in your own way, remember to continue cultivating this awareness, intention, and a growth mindset. And they think whether or not you join tech, these tips will serve you well everywhere. I think I'll pause there so that I see there's a lot of exciting questions coming in. So I would love to start the conversation from here.
Indeed, thank you so much for everything that you just shared. It is honestly really, really beautiful. And yeah, we do have a lot of questions right here. But before that, since this is in English, we would love to recap a little in Bahasa. So please bear with us a little bit, Miss Yeti. Oke, jadi teman-teman, barusan kita udah dengar banyak banget ya insight dari Kak Yeti tentang bagaimana sih beliau punya kesehariannya bagaimana sih di tech, terus kemudian beliau juga udah ngasih banyak tips ya, gimana cara kita harus bisa tahu diri kita sendiri sebelum kita mulai, dan kita juga harus cari tahu nih have our research gitu kan, kita harus mulai dari mana dan gimana caranya kita untuk bisa menuju goal kita, dan tentunya juga kita kalau misalnya sudah di atas sana, kita juga harus tetap punya growth mindset, dan juga jangan lupa untuk tetap take care of yourself, jaga diri kalian. Mental health is important, penting banget itu mental health. Dan yeah, I think we have such amazing audiences right here because they have been asking a lot of questions. So, all right, let's start with the first question. What advice would you give to women who are considering a career in tech? Ms. Yeti, would you please give us like a little bit more explanation on that?
Sure. So I guess in addition to what I shared, I would say for women, I would say give the same advice as I would to men. But I would also give the additional advice to not be afraid to be the only woman in the room. Sometimes you'll find yourself in that situation, and seek out your support network. You know, whether that's at work or outside of work, know that there are other people like you in the industry, right? So even if you're not seeing it day to day and you might feel lonely about it, there is you can see right here in this group, so many amazing women in the industry who've been leading the industry, read books by women. I find those to be always very inspiring, like Lean In, that's a very famous one. And so, chart your own path and know there are other people before you who've made that possible, but also that by becoming a woman in tech and charting a path, you will inspire other women to come. So I would just say, coba aja and just do your best and you'll find success there.
Coba aja, we love that mentality. Like, you just gotta try, guys. You only live once. Don't regret anything, right? Okay, another question. What made you decide to start your career in tech?
So I would say it was really the people that I met. So, and I'm an extrovert. I'm very people oriented. People is where I get a lot of my energy. So when my colleague from consultancy invited me to Dropbox, I was really inspired by what she said about the company, right? She said, we're growing, we're building product that's impacting millions of people around the world. We have a culture for innovation. We're relaxed at work. We take our work seriously, but not ourselves seriously. Our culture is very humble. People are very smart, but not, mean or assholes in any way. And all these things I felt also during the interview process, right? And I could see a lot of the values I had in the people that interviewed with me and the people that I met. And I felt, okay, if I join this company, I think, one, I will learn a lot, but two, I'll really enjoy it. And I'll be among people that I find inspiring. So that's how I decided to make my next move. And that's how I decided to make almost every career decision. Like, am I going to learn? Is this an experience I'm going to enjoy? And is this a community that's going to inspire me? And that usually is enough to convince me to make a move. Yeah.
I think those questions are very, very important for everyone to always like ask themselves and check in, right? And yeah, I think also, again, when it comes to work, the people around you that you are working with are going to play a big role in how we're going to live our lives during working in there. So, wow. Another reason for us women to go get ourselves into tech industry, right? So how was it like working at Gojek?
How was it like? It was definitely a roller coaster, I would say. Very different from where I was coming from. Like at Dropbox, one of the company values is sweat the details. So it's a very intentional, kind of almost perfectionist culture, making sure everything is delightful, everything is paid attention to. And then I moved to Gojek, and Gojek, one of the company values back then was fast and fearless. So it's complete opposite, where it's, go take risks, go make mistakes, go break stuff, learn from it. I think now the culture has evolved again, but it was yeah, it was a very stark contrast, but I loved it because it was really what Nadeem did is he made the company a playground, right? He would tell us, hey, this is your playground. This is where you get to make impact. This is where you get to learn. This is where you get to fall over. And the choice is yours. So, drive it to be brave in taking those decisions. And I felt that was all very empowering. And of course, I was in a new country. I was learning new languages. So all the challenges came. At the same time, I had done nothing in product management before. I wasn't a designer. I wasn't an engineer. I did no coding, no research. So it was also very strange for me to be a head of product without any of that experience. One of the aspects that led to imposter syndrome, but I was among people that I felt had passion, that really cared about what they were doing. And because of the growth of the product and the growth of the company, there's so much to learn. And it was very, say, an exciting and meaningful time for me with its challenges, of course. Yeah.
Ooh, I honestly got goosebumps listening to your answer just now. Like, it is honestly very inspiring. And thank you so much for being a living proof and also living inspiration for us to look up to. Like, when you say that you have all those challenges that you have, like, oof, major respect for you. Okay, so what are some qualities that make a great leader?
A great leader. So this is, I would caveat and say this very biased answer. This is what I feel is a great leader and what I try to emulate. I think the qualities of a great leader are one, empathy. So being empathetic to the team, for a PM also being empathetic to the users, having empathy for yourself. Second is, say, to have transparency in your communication. I'm all for radical transparency and radical candor. Another favorite book of mine, if you haven't read, by Kim Scott, very much recommend it. And then third, I would say, is to be authentic. And so I think a lot of leaders can come in different types of flavors and colors, but I've found the leaders who are authentic, empathetic, and transparent are, to me, the best leaders I've had. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. We are aspiring to be that too. Thank you for that. So, how important is education to you?
Education. I would say education has been one of the main anchors my whole life. Like, I've grown up under two professors, so I've watched my parents study their whole life. And what I'm really grateful for is, even though I've spent some time in Korea where education is a very stressful and competitive place. Also, one of the reasons why Korea has one of the highest teen suicide rates. So it's can be a stressful educational context. But what I learned from my parents early on is genuine curiosity and the joy of learning, as cheesy as that might sound. But I feel that's where I get my drive and joy of education, because I just love learning. I just love being, whether that's in school or reading books or just talking to people. And so a lot of times I make my decisions based on, okay, what's the next thing I want to learn, right? Am I going to learn something or not? And as long as I learn something, I think it's always worth it. So I would say one of my core values in life.
Wow. Like, one of the things that I really noticed from your answer just now is that education can really mean what you can learn. So it doesn't mean that it has to be like so formal education, but does it also mean that you can learn from anything?
Yeah, I think that's what I would say is very true about education, especially now, where a lot of things are online and open source and free, that anyone can build your own education. And I always say, like, a great learner, if you have the right mindset, a person who has the right mindset will learn from anything. Like, you could be sweeping floors, at a cafeteria, and you will learn something from that. if you really tune into it. And I feel like, I've been a waitress before. I've also tutored, and like every small moment, if you turn your mind on, there's something to learn from that. So yeah, definitely agree on that.
Somehow I feel like this is kind of wholesome. What you just said. Okay, so what's your plan after masters? Are you already planning things ahead now that you are in a good place career-wise?
It's a really good question, because I did say planning ahead, only goes so far. So I would say I'm trying to, well, one, I don't have a clear answer to that, and that's why I'm in school on what I'm going to do next. I have some, I'd say, like North Star values or anchor points. I know I want to do something that's impactful for the world and community and for future. I know I want to do something related to technology and innovation. I know that I want to be in a community that really supports all of that. So I'm starting to think, I really love working in the education and public sector because everyone seems to be very mission oriented. So I have some general themes, but I'm not sure exactly what I'll do. But I am taking my MBA. I did sign up for an entrepreneurship and innovation course. I love the building part of a team and culture, because culture is easier to build than to change. So I'm thinking, okay, if I have certain aspects in mind, like I really want to also push for a women forward culture, maybe I will start a company and a team that embodies that. So I have some goals, but mostly just going in with an open mind and trying to learn as much as possible and enjoy, the group, and enjoy being a student again, after working for 10 years.
That is amazing. That's also what most of us from presses are trying to do. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that to us. All right, another question we have here from Dishka. What are the most effective tools for someone who would want to become a PM or already in the role to become a better one? Any platform or maybe courses that you took before you jump into the role?
I did none of the above, actually. So I did very little preparation, I would say. Actually, I was like, okay, I just, learned on the job. But so again, if you're asking this question, I think you're already a few steps ahead of me. So congrats to you. I would say there are actually so many resources these days. What I can do is I can share document with the Fempire group. Maybe you guys can find a way to pass it along. I have like a product management library. These are like resources I've collected from the last like 6 years. So there's also a reading list from Dropbox that I've carried over, a reading list from the CEO that I carried over, as well as some podcasts, other books, and articles that I found really useful. So I think you can really start anywhere these days. My default is people and Google. Actually, I prefer to start with people. So I'd go and talk to other PMs that I know in my community. I try to reach out and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you learning? Like, what helped you? And I just, start compiling. And I think everyone also has their own way of learning. So you should pick whatever suits you, right? Some people enjoy doing online courses, of which there are so many out there. Some people rather like listening to podcasts. That's what I like to do when I have, especially in Jakarta, when I used to have a commute, I would just listen to podcasts, right, in my downtime. Some people like reading books. Some people like talking to people. So start wherever works for you, right? And yeah, I mean, now it's just, I think has been no better time to learn something new than today. So, but I will send over a list of resources to the Fempire team to pass along. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is such a great surprise that you just give to us. Thank you so much for that. Everyone is also thank you. Like, thank you, Kayeti. Thank you. It would be great. Like, everyone is just like so excited about it. All right. So yeah, Compress, stay tuned. Stay tuned, okay? All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Maria Yeti, for your time, for the Q&A, for your everything, your wisdom, everything. We are so glad that you're here. We would really love to, read more questions from the Fempresses, but unfortunately, due to the time, we cannot do that. So yeah, thank you so much for being here with us and the talk. Before we leave, we would love to take like a screenshot time for both of us. So it's like photo time, but we're like a screenshot. All right. So are you guys ready, team, to take a screenshot? Okay, so we will just be smiling for now. Let us know when you're done, guys. Okay, done. Thank you so much, Kak Yeti. Thank you for being here. Dan, yeah, we hope to still be in touch with you whenever.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you everyone for your questions, and I'll send my reading list to the Fempire team.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to that. Okay, guys, terima kasih banyak sudah drop questions. You guys are awesome, and oh wow, we are just blasted by a lot of thank yous right now. Yeah, it was honestly very, very inspiring. Then, okay, lanjut. Because of durasi. Oh my God. I'm still also like very excited, guys. So, not going to turn down the excitement, kita juga akan ngobrolin soal giveaway nih. Teman-teman pasti udah penasaran nih kan? Nah, jadi hari ini akan ada 2 pemenang seperti yang tadi kita jelasin. Dan ya, thank you again. Terima kasih untuk sponsor kita pada acara hari ini, Rose Cosmetics. Hadiah giveaway dari acara hari ini adalah 1 packs Rose Liquid Love seharga 229.000 per packs-nya. Nah, gimana sih cara menangin giveaway-nya? Yang pertama, kalian bisa ikut acara ini sampai selesai. Setelah sesi panel nanti, kita akan ada game Kahoot. Jadi pemenang game Kahoot ini akan dapat giveaway pertama kita. Dan yang kedua, jangan takut untuk teman-teman kalau misalnya tidak menang di Kahoot, ada 1 audiens beruntung lainnya yang bisa dapat giveaway ini. Gimana caranya? Jadi kalian harus posting story, Instagram story acara hari ini, dan jangan lupa untuk tag @vampire_id dan pakai hashtag Vampire State of Mind. Nah, nanti tim Vampire akan pilih story yang paling menarik dan pemenang giveaway ini juga akan diumumkan pada akhir acara ini. So stay tune, jangan kemana-mana. Alright, kita udah selesai di sesi pertama. Kita tadi belajar banyak dari Kak Yeti. That was really good. Dan sekarang kita akan masuk ke sesi panel kita. Untuk sesi panel kita, Vampire telah mengundang 3 leading ladies yang bekerja sebagai HR di perusahaan-perusahaan top di industri tech. Nah, hari ini mereka akan sharing tentang tips dan bagaimana pengalaman luar biasa mereka untuk kalian semua yang mau memulai karir di tech. Nah, untuk panelis pertama kita, Intan mau memperkenalkan, ini ada Kak Putri Ratnasari, beliau adalah seorang senior tech recruiter di Tabsquare. Kemudian ada Kak Radhika Bakchandani, HRBP di Tanihub. And last but not least, ada Kak Siti atau Kak Sisi Hediningsih. She is a senior consultant leader dari Glance Indonesia. So yeah, they are already here with us. Hello Kak Sisi, Kak Putri, dan juga Kak Radhika. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. How are you, ladies?
Halo everyone.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much kakak-kakak sudah mau hadir dan menjadi panelis kita pada hari ini. We're so excited. Dan ya, untuk teman-teman Fempresses, jangan lupa untuk drop your questions, taruh aja semua pertanyaan kalian di kolom chat ya. Nah, oke, so Intan di sini sudah ada beberapa list pertanyaan untuk kakak-kakak. Jadi sambil kita menunggu teman-teman Fempress untuk kasih pertanyaan, Intan dulu yang tanya, nggak apa-apa ya. Alright, so sebelumnya boleh mungkin aku minta kakak-kakak untuk bisa introduce yourself, memperkenalkan diri, mungkin mulai dari Kak Radhika.
Sure, thank you, Intan. So, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Radhika, and I'm currently in the HR team at Tanihub. So, Tanihub is an agriculture and technology startup working to help better the lives of farmers in Indonesia. It's nice to meet you all.
Nice, very nice to meet you. Alright, mungkin Kak Putri bisa lanjut.
Alright, hi everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Putri. Currently aku sebagai senior tech recruiter di Tabsquare. So Tabsquare is a tech startup company. We actually like Singapore startup company that we provide restaurant solutions. And yeah, so excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Kak Siti, would you please also give us like an introduction and a bit of background to yourself?
Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Fempire.id udah invite aku, udah ajak aku untuk participate di event ini. Perkenalkan, nama aku Siti Diningsih. People usually call me Sisi. I'm currently working at Glints as a senior consultant leader. It has been for two years. I'm working at Glints, and this is my first job. And then so glad to having you all in here. Nah, what's different kalau misalnya dari Kak Radika dan juga Kak Putri lebih ke internal recruitment ya. Nah, kalau misalnya di sini peranku lebih ke arah external recruitment sih. Di sini aku bantu handle klien-kliennya dari Glints, dan so far udah ada lebih dari 50 klien yang aku bantuin untuk proses rekrutmennya, start from startup, BUMN sampai corporate. Hopefully hari ini aku bisa share-share dari experience aku ke semuanya ya.
Wow, as you guys heard, seperti yang kalian dengar, they are all very good at what they're doing, and we are just so ready to learn. Okay, kakak-kakak, sebagai seorang HR, kesalahpahaman apa sih yang mau kakak luruskan tentang industri teknologi? Mungkin bisa dimulai dari Kak Putri kali ya?
Okay, so the misconception ya in tech company. So I would say mungkin misconception yang pertama adalah if you work in tech company, then you are nerds gitu ya, or you have to be genius gitu to work in tech company gitu. I think that's one misconception sih in tech company gitu. Dan yang kedua adalah mungkin tech company itu sangat related dengan coding. So if you work in tech company, then kamu adalah software engineer gitu. Dan yang ketiga adalah tech company itu biasanya identik dengan youth gitu, atau young people gitu. Jadi kalau di tech company itu udah nggak ada tuh mungkin orang yang usia 30 ke atas gitu. I think that's the misconception sih, which is actually not true gitu sebenarnya. Ya.
Oke, mungkin Kak Radika atau Kak Sisi mau ada tambahan?
Sure. So I agree with both the three points. Just a little bit to add, I think another point is that there's usually this misconception that tech, of course, is a male-dominated space, in which I guess in this point it is true, but we are actually seeing a lot of excited women who are joining the tech space. And another point to add is that usually people have the misconception that you have to, be a graduate of engineering or computer science to actually be able to thrive in tech. But as Miss Maria said before, she didn't really come from that background, and she's clearly thriving there. So that is clearly a misconception.
Okay, thank you so much. Kak Sisi, ada yang mau tambahin?
Nah, sebenarnya semuanya udah diambil juga ya sama Radika sama Putri ya, and agree gitu, karena memang all of that itu kebanyakan mindset dari orang-orang di luar itu seperti itu. Nah, paling di sini aku pengen lebih ini lagi sih mengenai job role positions, karena sebenarnya buat di tech industry sendiri itu job role positionsnya tuh banyak banget. Nah, ini aku flashback ketika aku masih jadi fresh graduate, itu ketika aku mau apply kerjaan tuh sebenarnya di pikiran aku itu tuh doang, misalnya kayak oke, engineer ya engineer aja, padahal kan engineer itu very very various, ada yang di IT industry, ada juga mechanical, chemical, etc. Di mechanical ada lagi bagiannya masing-masing, begitupun sales marketing, lalu produk dan lain-lain. Nah, untuk di posisi IT sendiri itu cukup kompleks ya teman-teman. Kalau misalnya ke IT itu nggak mesti ngoding loh gitu kan, kebanyakan orang-orang langsung aduh pusing ini nggak bisa masuk IT soalnya aku jelimet banget kalau misal ngoding gitu. Nah, padahal banyak banget job role yang bisa dieksplor, misalnya kayak apa, untuk testing ada IT quality assurance, kemudian misalnya teman-teman suka desain nih gitu, jadi di IT juga bisa untuk desain di websitenya, kemudian untuk analis ada sistem business analyst, dan juga bisa juga untuk produk kayak tadi Mbak Yeti ya, kan itu lebih ke arah produk gitu. Jadinya jobnya banyak banget, teman-teman tuh bisa banget untuk lebih dipelajarin dulu gitu. Nanti ketika udah ada yang oke baru pelajarin skills-nya. Jadi jangan takut dan jangan ragu untuk lebih explore lagi di dunia IT sih.
I think those are a very very important points. Thank you so much for that. Oke, untuk Kak Radika nih pertanyaannya, jika ingin berkarir di industri teknologi, Kak, hal apa aja sih yang perlu kita perhatikan? Seperti kekuatan apa yang menurut Kakak tuh paling penting untuk dimiliki dalam industri teknologi?
Okay, so I think especially the things that are identical with technology, it's fast-paced in terms of innovations. Yeah, like just if we're looking at technology that we're facing in daily life, like, you know, just with phones and applications, there's always updates, right? So we as people who are interested to work in the technology world also need to keep on updating ourselves. And that means that you need to have some sort of agility, especially if you're working in a startup environment, then there's going to be a lot of changes. Then there's going to be a lot of failures and a lot of just dynamic situations that you will have to adapt to. So I think agility is a very important aspect to have.
Alright, thank you so much. Nah, sekarang pertanyaannya untuk Kak Sisi nih. Glance kan bekerja sama dengan banyak perusahaan teknologi di Asia Tenggara ya, Kak ya. Kira-kira seberapa banyak sih kebutuhan orang IT di Indonesia dan soft skill apa yang dicari oleh perusahaan-perusahaan tersebut ketika mereka merekrut karyawan?
Nah, terima kasih banyak pertanyaannya, Intan. Gitu, bisa dibilang ini daily activities aku ya, gitu. Kayak kalau ditanyain seberapa banyak IT yang dibutuhin, itu banyak banget dan bisa dibilang setiap harinya tuh selalu bertambah, Tan. Jadi untuk kebutuhannya kayak gitu, dan untuk mencari posisi IT tuh bukan sesuatu yang gampang karena di marketnya pun itu nggak terlalu banyak, sehingga banyak juga orang-orang IT yang cepat pindah karena dihijack mulu. Gitu. Dan sekarang kan semakin banyak perusahaan startup yang bermunculan juga nih kayak gitu yang berkembang. Nah, jadinya kalau misalnya untuk kebutuhan itu banyak banget, namun dari segi marketnya memang masih belum sebanyak yang dibutuhkan gitu. Jadi kita masih butuh banget teman-teman IT engineers nih gitu. Semoga teman-teman jadi termotivasi ya untuk join di IT. Nah, kemudian kalau misalnya untuk skillsnya sendiri untuk di IT sebenarnya paling penting itu analytical skills. Jadi untuk semua posisi itu analytical skills itu yang paling penting, mau posisinya testing aja atau ke desain atau pengembangan produk, semuanya tuh butuh analytical skills gitu. Jadi saranku adalah kalau misalnya teman-teman mau terjun ke dunia IT dan teman-teman oke, aku jago kok gitu, aku bisa kok analytical skills-nya. Oke, berarti itu udah kayak good sign buat teman-teman. Dari analytical skills itu teman-teman pelajarin lagi nih kayak job role apa yang paling sesuai sama aku. Misalnya teman-teman tertarik untuk desain gitu. Atau enggak sekarang karirnya misalnya udah graphic designer namun masih freelance gitu, bisa di-upgrade supaya jadi UI UX designer gitu, karena sebenarnya kan beda-beda tipis tapi ada tools tambahan yang bisa dipelajarin kan gitu. Ketika udah tahu arahnya mau kemana, nanti baru pelajarin skills-nya gitu, karena different positions maupun posisi yang sama itu skills-nya bisa beda juga gitu. Misalnya kayak developer itu nggak cuma satu bahasa doang yang ada gitu, tapi ada banyak banget, ada various bahasa pemrograman dan kita nggak bisa nge-stuck di situ aja. Misalnya kayak oke, Kak, aku udah jadi ini nih, udah jadi software developer, aku bisa bahasanya misalnya aku bisa bahasanya ini C# gitu. Nah, teman-teman jangan ragu buat tetap explore karena akan selalu ada bahasa pemrograman yang baru kayak gitu. Jadinya pertama harus tahu dulu maunya bidangnya apa, kemudian bahasa pemrogramannya apa. Kalau misal udah ada pengalaman, yang nggak kalah penting adalah bahasa Inggris kayak gitu.
We got really good pointers, guys. Thank you, Kak Sisi. Oke, selanjutnya adalah pertanyaan untuk Kak Putri. Nah, sebagai ibu yang bekerja nih, Kak, apa sih budaya di industri teknologi yang menurut Kakak perlu diperhatikan? Bagaimana cara Kakak menyeimbangkan peran sebagai ibu dan juga karyawan di industri yang bergerak dengan sangat cepat?
Oke, thank you pertanyaannya Intan. Jadi kalau untuk culture di startup sendiri sebenarnya yang udah tadi teman-teman sebutkan juga adalah yang pertama itu adalah di uncertainty gitu ya. Jadi di tech industry mereka selalu innovate dan selalu banyak hal yang sifatnya tuh gray areas atau nggak pasti gitu. Bahkan dari job desk kita pun bisa bertambah gitu sebenarnya, which leads to the high workload gitu. Tapi sebenarnya dari dua hal tersebut ada dua hal lainnya, dua hal culture lainnya tuh yang sebenarnya bisa mengcompensate hal tersebut, misalnya kayak flexible working hour and they benar-benar value diversity. Jadi biasanya di tech company itu they don't really micromanage people gitu. Jadi sebenarnya auto workload-nya lumayan high dan banyak uncertainty, sebenarnya kita bisa mengatur sendiri sih gitu. Gimana cara work style kita sampai kita bisa mencapai result itu sendiri gitu. Dan how I balance sebenarnya adalah lebih ke as simple as I put everything on my calendar gitu. Jadi perharinya even kayak mandiin anak gitu ya, I put it on my calendar gitu sebenarnya. But mungkin di sini yang aku mau highlight adalah aside from kita mencari cara untuk bisa menyeimbangkan, yang paling penting sebenarnya adalah 4 important factors yang bisa membantu kita mengaktualisasikan diri kita as a woman and as a mom gitu ya, working mom gitu. Aku ngelis 4 important factor ini. Yang pertama itu I think to ensure that this is what we want, terus juga support system, and then to let go of perfect action, and then to ask for help. Pertama, kalau ensure what we want, I think we need to be aware that decision ini kita yang mau gitu. So I want to be a mother, I want to get married, I want to have kids, and I want to be working mom gitu. So ketika kita udah aware that this is my decision, not because of the society gitu ya, not to prove to anyone, kita udah tahu pro and cons-nya apa, what I will lose, what I will gain gitu. And ketika nanti di depan ada situasi yang mungkin nggak sesuai dengan ekspektasi kita or omongan orang lain, itu udah nggak affect kita anymore gitu, because this is what I want gitu. Terus support system di sini mungkin aku lebih kali ya, karena whatever we do it will affect our pasangan, jadi pasti kita berkomunikasi gitu dengan pasangan. And ya kalau dari aku sendiri memang sebelum menikah we already discuss about it, and I think buat teman-teman yang belum menikah justru saatnya gitu ya untuk diskusikan sebelum menikah, nanti setelah menikah apakah kamu akan kerja atau enggak gitu. Yang ketiga tadi, let go of perfections. There's no such thing as perfect mom. You're not become a bad mother because kamu kasih anak kamu roti gitu ya instead of nasi, karena sama-sama karbohidrat gitu sebenarnya. Jadi let go of perfection sebenarnya. Dan yang keempat adalah don't be afraid to ask for help gitu. Kalau from me myself dulu punya idealisme bahwa I don't want to hire ART gitu ya untuk bantuin anak, tapi during that time apalagi especially during this work from home, I need misalnya kayak aku mau pergi ke psychologist gitu untuk aku bisa bercerita lah gitu. So if you need help, then just admit it gitu dan ask for help. I think that's yang bisa help kamu untuk bisa balancing karir sih gitu.
Wow, kita harus bisa jujur sama diri sendiri ya kayak kalau kita our condition, like what we need and what we gotta do. Wow, that's really insightful. We're looking forward to that. Oke, selanjutnya Kak Radhika. Berdasarkan riset BCG, 50% dari lulusan universitas adalah perempuan. Tapi kurang dari 15%-nya yang berhasil menjadi CEO atau BOD. Nah, menurut Kakak, data tersebut relevan nggak sih dengan industri teknologi? Kalau ya, kenapa kemajuan karir perempuan di industri ini tuh masih kurang terlihat gitu ya?
Yes, so I actually came across this data kemarin gitu ya, when I was doing more research about women in tech in Indonesia. And what was actually interesting about this data is they researched about women who, like the percentages of women as opposed to men, who starting from education first, right? So they found that women actually make up to 59% of all university graduates in Indonesia, which is pretty good, right? Because, you know, we're all about women in education, women empowerment in terms of education. And we can see that, okay, you know what, we're actually doing pretty okay in terms of the education sector. But as you know, we progress further, we see that women actually, in terms of specifically just in the tech workforce, they only make up 22%. And this research was done in 2020, so it's pretty recent. And they only make up 22% of the tech workforce, right? This means that the tech is still very much male dominated, but we can see that there are women, you know, breaking glass ceilings, right? When it comes to trying out and working in the tech sector. So even in terms of HR, and while I was doing recruitment, I could see that there was a lot of women who are actually interested in terms of applying, right? But based on my experience, I could see that a lot of those women were actually more in the early stages of the career. So for example, it was junior engineers, it was junior PM, QA, product designers, right? But they were just people who were either fresh out of college or even fresh out of boot camps, right? Because right now in Indonesia, we have a lot of tech boot camps, and but people who are graduated from there usually are in about like the junior range in terms of the career. And I could see that while I was recruiting for more of a lead level, managerial level, even VP and CTO, then there wasn't really as many women in the recruitment pipeline, right? Even as I was going through LinkedIn, I'm like looking for people, like the actual amount of women who are working in these positions are not very high. And then that kind of becomes unfortunate, right? Because it's not that there aren't women who are talented in that field and who are able to actually thrive. So hence why I was actually very happy to get an opportunity to talk in this event, because I feel like at this point, women are actually already making changes in terms of, doing the first step, right, in terms of applying jobs and like majoring in more STEM fields. But then how do we support women to actually thrive in those careers? And in the presentation that you guys are sharing here, you could see some of the factors that actually make women maybe not really thrive in their tech career as time goes on, right? So you could see that in terms of education, women actually join because of their personal interest and because they feel like, they have the skills and capabilities. And in terms of why women don't major in technology in college is because, lack of personal interest. Maybe they're just not into it, like Mbak Siti mentioned earlier, ngejelimet gitu ya. So, they're just not into coding, and perceived difficulty of major, which is like they just think it's difficult without actually trying it, and narrow focus of the major. But then, they get the first job in technology, and the reason why, they choose that job is because they feel like, oh, you know what, I majored in this, so might as well get the first job as an engineer, or because they have some personal interest in terms of working in a startup, working in a high growth environment, whatever it is. And then of course, compensation and benefit, because we know that in the workforce, in terms of tech employees, they are, being very compensated very well. But then, or some people might major in, some women might major in education, in tech during their education time, but not find jobs in the technology sector. And the reason could be lack of personal interest. They just find out that, this is not something that I want to do. Perceived difficulty of career path. So they just think that, I don't think I can actually excel in this. I don't think I can actually thrive and become a lead and like progress in my career path. And the third is limited access to other career opportunities. So in tech itself, tech is such a broad space, right? It's not just engineering, it's not just web design, especially in this day and age. There are so many things that could be included in tech, and that includes product analyst, product management, data, QA, even automation, right? Machine learning. There's so many new exciting stuff when it comes to tech. But then maybe they're not as exposed to those new things. So they think that, I'm not really interested in coding. I don't really want to pursue that anymore. And so it's limited access to other career opportunities. And when it comes to a long-term career, then the reason women stay is because of the compensation benefit, because of the work-life balance. As Mbak Putri mentioned, there are some flexibility when it comes to working hours. And of course, career advancement opportunities, because in terms of tech, then if you excel in the work that you're doing, then you could get promoted very easily, right? But why do a lot of women decide not to continue? And the reason could be because the desire to pursue another career path. They just might realize that, I just want to do more of a business role maybe, or I want to, become an HR and find people, like find tech people instead of becoming tech people myself. Like I have spoken to tech recruiters who come from a tech background and were actually engineers beforehand. And then the second one could be family related responsibilities, because as we know, especially living in Asian society, family and like getting married and having children, that is still part of the role that is socially accepted as a woman, right? Once you get married, gotta have babies, you know, and not every startup or not every organization is going to be as supportive of that. You know, there are still discriminatory policies, or at least even notions that, you know, people will be like, okay, I don't really want to hire a woman manager when she's pregnant, because then she's just going to take a 3-month leave, and then who's going to do the work, right? There are still some sort of notions that is being held by people here. So then they just end up not getting hired, or the women themselves actually resign. And the third is lack of advancement opportunities. So I think this is where the crucial role of women who are already holding positions in a senior level in a company kind of act as a role model and builds a supportive community for women there. And this can hopefully help women who are just starting, right? Women who are more in a junior positions in their career. And when they build a community, a supportive community where they kind of can see a role model of someone who maybe is, you know, having a family and is thriving in their business and is getting promoted and is getting all of those stuff, then they kind of get an inspiration, maybe realize that, oh, maybe I can do it too. You know, so yeah, I think that's my answer.
Thank you so much. Well, yeah, I think we have one role model here with us. Alright, Kak Putri. Berdasarkan obrolan ini dan tadi data yang ada, kami paham bahwa industri teknologi masih didominasi oleh laki-laki. Kalau menurut Kak Putri, apa sih alasannya, Kak?
Alright, so kenapa masih didominasi oleh laki-laki? Sebenarnya kalau from my experience, dari yang aku lihat dari interview, recruitment and everything, sebenarnya lebih karena probability lulusan science major, computer science or IT memang kebanyakan cowok gitu. So kalau kita ngomongin probability, kalau ceweknya hanya 10 dari 100 cowok misalnya, of course ketika diterima kerja pasti akan banyakkan cowoknya gitu ya. And based on my conversations with my friend juga, she's a software engineer, a woman software engineer, waktu dia kuliah ceweknya itu cuma sekitar 20 dari ratusan orang gitu. Dan dari 20, 5-nya memilih untuk berhenti kuliah karena terlalu sulit buat mereka gitu. And then sisa 15, dari 15-nya cuma 7 yang jadi software engineer misalnya gitu. Dan ke-8-nya lagi mereka lebih memilih pekerjaan yang mungkin enggak gender stereotype-nya enggak terlalu manly gitu, enggak terlalu cowok gitu. So basically sebenarnya kenapa akhirnya cewek underrepresented, karena dari pendidikannya sendiri pun lebih banyakan cowok sih yang milih untuk IT. Although memang ketika kita masuk ke dunia IT nggak mesti kita punya basic IT major ya gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya balik lagi ngeliat dari pendidikan, memang kebanyakan cowok yang pilih. Kenapa seperti itu? Kalau based on my conversation dengan beberapa temanku, sebenarnya yang pertama adalah kurangnya wanita ini terpapar dengan tech gitu ya. As simple as kalau cowok main saat masih kecil mainan, dia biasa udah main komputer, dia biasa main PS yang ada tech-nya, yang secara visual tuh kayak wah gue bikin nih gambar kayak gini gitu. Kalau cewek mungkin lebih ke yang role play, masak-masakan gitu. Kita nggak terlalu terpapar gitu. I myself nggak terpapar tuh yang namanya di tech tuh ada role apa aja sih dulu gitu. Bahkan nggak terpapar. Oh kita tuh bisa loh belajar coding gitu ya, nggak terpapar dengan hal seperti itu. Dan kedua mungkin as tadi Mbak Radhika juga bilang, lebih ke peran orang tua juga gitu ya. Hampir gender stereotype yang ada di tech company mungkin atau yang ada di major kayak computer science itu kan kebanyakan cowok gitu ya. And kita we are Asian gitu ya. Kayaknya woman ada di sekumpulan cowok, that's not really like good example juga mungkin buat orang tua gitu. Dan orang tuanya juga mungkin belum terpapar sehingga karena gini, kalau di Indonesia kan kalau kita mau memilih jurusan harus pakai restu orang tua ya gitu, nggak bisa I want to be this, nanti pasti orang tua akan tanya kamu nanti abis itu kerjanya apa, kamu abis itu menghasilkan uangnya di mana gitu. Jadi I think yang justru sebenarnya bisa kita bangun adalah lebih ke mengedukasi teman-teman terutama yang mungkin belum mengambil jurusan kuliah atau teman-teman di kuliah bahwa ada loh role ini, nggak cuma software engineer loh, kamu nggak mesti dari computer science loh, or if you want to take computer science kamu akan belajar ini gitu. I think edukasi itu sih gitu, dan hopefully sebenarnya untuk orang tua sekarang I think mereka juga udah lebih terbuka pemikirannya gitu ya, dan kayaknya women juga udah makin banyak sih sekarang gitu. So yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you Kak Putri. Oke, selanjutnya pertanyaan untuk Kak Sisi. Kak, gimana sih caranya supaya perempuan bisa mengasah skill dan pengetahuan mereka untuk bisa bekerja di industri teknologi?
Nah, oke, gimana caranya supaya perempuan bisa mengasah skill-nya ya?
Ya.
Nah, kalau menurut aku sebenarnya nggak ada perbedaannya kayak perempuan dan laki-laki gimana cara buat mengasahnya sih, Intan gitu. Karena menurut aku same privilege lah gitu. Karena skill yang dibutuhin tuh sama juga. Nanti ketika kerja juga bakal sama juga, nggak ada yang ngebedain gitu. Mungkin yang ngebedain kayak ketika kita join this industry ya mayoritas bakal laki-laki kalau misal untuk di bagian IT-nya ya kayak gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya kayak untuk skills-nya kayak gimana, detailnya kayak gitu sebenarnya sama aja kayak laki-laki. Jadinya what the most important things when you want to be an engineers in IT positions itu pertama kita harus punya skills-nya gitu. Mau itu untuk full time, mau itu intern, itu kita harus punya skills-nya paling nggak sebasic-basicnya lah gitu. Misalnya kayak oke, misalnya untuk developer misalnya berarti harus bisa ngoding pakai bahasa apa gitu, minimal kayak paling basicnya lah HTML CSS gitu, paling enggak dia ngerti nih cara coding dikit, atau enggak kalau misalnya untuk UI UX designer gitu paling enggak dia harus bisa desain juga pakai Adobe kayak gitu. Habis itu kalau untuk QA paling nggak dia pernah testing lah, manual juga nggak apa-apa. Nanti kalau misalnya untuk skills untuk automation saya bisa diajarin kayak gitu. Jadinya basically memang harus kita harus tambahin skills-nya dulu nih. Gimana cara kita nambahin skills-nya? Kalau teman-teman itu udah jurusan udah IT, itu bakal lebih gampang banget sih, karena di bangku perkuliahan kan udah ada kan. Gitu teman-teman tinggal intern aja, coba intern di tech startup companies gitu. Nah, pada saat intern teman-teman bisa lebih gali mengenai role gitu. Karena ketika kita baca di internet nih, dengan pas kita kerja itu bakal beda rasanya gitu. Kalau di internet kayak ini kerjanya kayak gini gitu. Tapi secara detail gambarannya sebenarnya nggak terlalu kelihatan, apalagi kayak posisi-posisi yang misalnya kayak UX researcher gitu kan nggak terlalu familiar ya kayak gitu. Nah, jadi teman-teman bisa lebih explore pada saat intern. Di intern tuh dioptimalin nggak cuman doing your job aja, tapi see your surroundings gitu. Kayak oke, ada posisi ini aja, posisi ini kayak gini toh, posisi ini kayak gini toh, sehingga nanti for your first full time job teman-teman udah nggak bingung lagi gitu, udah ada gambaran lagi gitu. Nah, kalau misalnya teman-teman ini bukan dari jurusan IT, itu bisa banget coba join aja semacam bootcamp. Sekarang udah banyak banget tuh bootcamp, tinggal dipilih aja, ada yang scholarship-nya juga kayak gitu. Nah, dari bootcamp itu nanti teman-teman juga bakal ada lebih gambaran gitu. Bootcamp kan nggak cuman coding doang ya, tapi sekarang ada juga misalnya kayak data scientist atau enggak untuk desainer, untuk produk gitu, semuanya tuh udah ada. Jadi teman-teman bisa banget untuk ambil kelasnya dulu sih kayak gitu.
Very insightful. Okay, we're already taking notes of those. Oke, Kak. Sekarang aku mau tanya ke Putri. Nah, gimana sih cara kita untuk bisa cari tahu kalau misalnya kita tuh dibayar setara dengan laki-laki?
Oke, gimana cara kita cari tahu kalau kita dibayar setara? Ini sebenarnya agak tricky juga ya kita. I mean, because like every company mereka punya salary range sendiri yang sebenarnya nggak di publish gitu. But yeah, I think yang bisa kita cari tahu sebenarnya kalau untuk sekarang, of course, kamu widen connection kamu gitu ya, karena you talk to people, any people ya sebenarnya gitu. Jadi kayak bisa ke teman kamu yang mungkin udah kerja atau mungkin HR yang kamu tahu gitu ya, teman kamu dan sebagainya. Kira-kira range-nya tuh berapa sih? At least nggak spesifik company, at least buat fresh graduate dulu deh, kira-kira berapa gitu. And sebenarnya memang ada dokumen yang dikeluarkan ya gitu, kayak biasanya tuh kalau aku sendiri dapetnya mungkin kayak dari Robert Walters gitu ya, kayak dari Glints juga kayaknya mengeluarkan juga ya kalau nggak salah gitu ya untuk range gaji gitu ya. But I don't know apakah teman-teman bisa dapat aksesnya sih. Biasanya sih waktu itu aku bisa dapat itu ketika aku visit websitenya And then biasanya kita tinggal taruh email kita terus download, nanti kekirim ke email, biasanya kayak gitu. So sebenarnya as simple as biasanya keywordnya, kalau dulu aku keywordnya keyword bodoh-bodohan aja sebenarnya, kayak salary range di company ini gitu, nanti keluar tuh sebenarnya banyak, ada yang relevan, ada yang nggak relevan gitu. So I think aside from widen your network, bisa mulai cari di internet juga gitu, dan carinya ya dengan yang banyak sih, dengan yang banyak dan belum tentu sebenarnya juga valid, di compile dulu aja sih gitu, nanti kan bisa dicari kira-kira rata-ratanya berapa. I think sih kurang lebih seperti itu sih gitu.
Thank you so much Kak Putri. Mungkin Kak Radika atau Kak Sisi ada yang mau ditambahin terkait gaji nih?
Kalau aku paling nambahin ini kali, aku bantu share. Jadi dari Glints kita sebenarnya ada untuk linknya. Jadi teman-teman bisa langsung akses di situ. Kita kerja sama-sama Mongsil, dan itu ya makasih Mbak Putri udah dipromosiin. Nah, jadi teman-teman bisa langsung download aja di situ, tinggal insert your email and then you can download it for free. Di situ itu bayangan nggak cuma untuk di Indonesia tapi di Southeast Asia, jadi biar teman-teman bisa lebih ada motivasi lagi untuk terjun di dunia IT kayak gitu. Karena range gajinya tuh beda di Indonesia sama di luar juga, dan sekarang saking bebasnya juga ya, karena kan sekarang pandemik gitu, jadinya banyak foreign company yang open for remote job juga, jadinya it's very very possible for us to working at their company sih.
Thank you so much Kak Sisi for that. Our speakers today are very resourceful ya, kayak we're so happy, we're so grateful for you guys. Oke, untuk Kak Radika, gimana sih Kak caranya untuk kita bisa sukses berkarir di industri teknologi? Hal-hal apa aja yang jadi penting banget buat kita untuk kita selalu ingat?
Okay. Sebenarnya I feel like mungkin ini akan hanya menjadi pengulangan or just like a conclusion of all the great points that have been discussed earlier. Yeah. So I would still stand by what I said earlier, which was agility, and that basically means that in order to thrive in a technology sector, then you have to have a certain level of being used to failure, right? Because especially when you're like, for example, testing new products or testing new code, or waiting for approval for the design of something, right? Then there are going to be a lot of situations where maybe those things are not going to go through. Or if you're working in a very dynamic startup, then the whole business vision might change, and you might get a new target in the span of like 2 weeks, and you have to literally change and pivot your entire OKR. These are very much real life scenarios that happen in technology startups. So I feel like agility is a must have. The second is I guess the innovation and the desire or the passion to create something, right? Because even with tech, I think a lot of the preconceived ideas is that, you're just sitting there in front of a laptop and you're just typing code and that's it, like that's your job, right? But then once you kind of get an understanding of their actual work and what they're trying to build, then a lot of creation is actually there. So it is actually a very creative job, because they are problem solving, but they're also building products, and they're also testing, and they're also designing, so there's a lot of creativity there. And in order to create something, you have to be passionate for it, right? You have to have the desire to innovate, to make something that is existing better, right? And that's why updates happen, and that's why everybody's trying to create the better product. So I guess that's just more of a general answer. But then I guess if we're talking about more of a specific for women, then I think I saw one of the question in the chat box as well, talking about D&I, which is diversity and inclusion, or just basically how what are the sort of initiatives that some startups take when it comes to preventing discrimination when it comes to women, right? So I think for women especially, when you're looking for job opportunities, it would be very helpful to see if the company have women-centric initiatives, and that could include hiring, right? So a lot of the startups here are actually promoting stuff on LinkedIn, saying that, what, we want to hire more women engineers, or our tech wants to be, more diverse, right? And that could be a good sign, because not every company is going to be as open to actually hiring women. As we know, there are still very discriminatory policies. Just even looking at job descriptions online on LinkedIn, you would see that certain jobs still mention whether they want women or male, female or male, whether they're married or not married, how old are they, and those are at this point a no-go, actually, because that can lead to more discriminatory issues. So that would be a good way of finding whether the company you're working at actually advocates for women, what are their anti-discriminatory policies, and whether whether they even have like good women role models that are holding higher positions in managerial positions in tech. So that, having a supportive community of women would definitely contribute to having a more successful career in tech.
Thank you so much for your answer. Well, talking about failure, right? I think we can start to reading the questions from our audiences. So here Farisha asks, how do you deal with failure? Maybe Kak Putri would love to help us to answer that.
Okay, good questions and also tough juga, because I'm type of person sebenarnya yang cukup lingering with the mistake that I make gitu ya, gitu. Kayaknya lebih mudah memaafkan mistake orang dibandingkan mistake diri sendiri gitu ya. Aduh, bodoh banget deh tadi kayak gini gitu ya. So how do I deal with failure? Sebenarnya this is a long journey where I started to mulai mencoba mengenali sih diri sendiri gitu. What motivate me, what will make me sad or depressed gitu ya. Jadi sebenarnya lebih kayak waktu itu what I'm doing is I'm creating a journal gitu ya. Jadi lebih kayak nulis, misalnya kayak ketika I feel bad nih di kantor karena misalnya aku melakukan mistake A. Sebenarnya apa sih? Sebenarnya apa? Karena mistake-nya, karena takut dinilai orang, takut dimarahin, atau apa sih gitu. Jadi from that, setelah itu sih sebenarnya ketika aku mulai lebih bisa memahami ya sebenarnya apa yang membuat aku akhirnya merasa ini gagal dan yang lain, dan ketika aku udah mulai tahu sih sebenarnya if I fail then so what gitu sih sebenarnya gitu. Setelah itu aku kayak ya udah, terus kalau gagal kenapa gitu. As long as sebenarnya kalau aku sendiri punya prinsip yang penting tuh nggak yang tindakan yang mungkin menyakiti orang gitu atau membahayakan orang gitu. I mean if it's like a mistake that we do like doing work daily gitu ya, then so what? Kamu bisa terus untuk memperbaikinya sih, especially in tech company. I think mereka udah as tadi Mbak Yeti juga bilang bahwa it's our playground gitu. Jadi sebenarnya make mistake tuh udah biasa banget sih di tech company gitu. Just admit it and learn from it sih sebenarnya. Gitu.
Oh, that mindset we have to keep in mind and like apply that to every other areas in our life. Thank you. Okay, another question dari Rahmani. What are some ways that we can improve our analytical skills? Can you share some programs or podcasts or books? Jadi ya, apa aja sih? Mungkin kalau kakak-kakak punya rekomendasi podcast atau program atau buku mungkin bisa di-share, mulai dari Kak Sisi dulu kali ya.
Baik. Karena aku paling sering ngomong analytical skills ya dari tadi ya. It's okay. Nah, gini, jadi definisi analytical skills tuh sebenarnya menurutku hampir semua posisi sebenarnya butuh ini. Ini bisa menjadi nilai plus teman-teman sih gitu, karena honestly I was graduated from engineering major but not IT major, mechanical engineering. Nah, what makes me different with others in this field sebenarnya analytical skills aku gitu. Jadi ketika aku menemukan problem, aku bisa satu start dalam menyelesaikan masalahnya gitu. Jadi otaknya udah ini masalahnya. apa ya yang menyebabkan gitu-gitu. Jadi langsung udah ada bayangan kayak gitu. Jadinya gimana supaya kita bisa mengasah analytical skills itu caranya macam-macam. Kalau misalnya in practicalnya semakin sering kalian menghadapi masalah itu bakal keasah sendiri kok untuk analytical skills gitu. Namun kalau misalnya teman-teman udah terjun nih ke dunia IT, teman-teman tuh bisa untuk mengasah kalau coding tuh bisa ada kayak hacker rank. Di situ bisa diasah codingnya jadi lebih jago lagi atau enggak untuk nulis code-nya lebih bersih lagi kayak gitu. Jadi codingan satu orang sama satu orang itu belum tentu sama gitu. Ada yang udah bersih, ada yang masih berantakan. Nah, itu gimana cara ngerapiinnya? Practices sih sebenarnya gitu. Habis itu when you facing problem pun itu misalnya Radika facing a problem, habis itu aku juga gitu. Cara kita belum tentu sama untuk menyelesaikan masalah itu gitu. Nah, tapi caranya siapa sih yang paling cepat? Nah, kalau misalnya di startup biasanya gitu, yang cepat dan tepat gitu. Jadi cepet doang sebenarnya itu nggak cukup, tapi cepat dan tepat gitu. Nah, jadi ketika kita nemuin problem lagi yang sama, kita itu bisa memakai yang lebih cocok kayak gitu. Jadinya kalau misalnya dari aku adalah ketika kita facing problems, gimana cara kita bisa untuk solve that problems dengan cara yang cepat dan tepat, dan kita harus willing to learn. Itu juga salah satu yang harus kita gunain juga di tech industry ya. Jadi kita nggak boleh kayak kita udah terbaik nih gitu, jangan mau belajar sama orang tuh, itu harus dihindarin banget sih gitu, karena surrounding kalian tuh bakal enak-enak lah kalau misalnya di tech industry, dan itu yang akan membuat teman-teman jadi pribadi yang lebih oke lagi kayak gitu. Jadinya harus open minded dengan sekitar juga kayak gitu.
Mantap. Kalau dari Kak Radika sama Kak Putri mungkin ada rekomendasi, mungkin ada buku atau podcast apapun?
Mungkin Radika dulu kalau mau jawab.
Boleh.
Oke, kita jadi tunggu-tungguan tadi. I think so when it comes to analytical skills, I mean, of course, when it comes to the more formal ways of learning, I guess tadi Mbak Siti juga udah mention ya, when it comes to HackerRank, podcast, books, and all of those things. And also her educational background, because that is, very important in terms of creating the foundation of actually being able to think critically. So I guess other than those, very good formal suggestions, I would actually suggest in terms of playing games and playing video games. And hear me out, okay? So I think that especially in this day and age, there are, I think even like, for example, the government also actually started some initiative that was appreciative of video games and the fact that people who play video games can actually make a career out of it, right? So, and when it comes to actually learning video games, learning those more of role-playing kind of video games or those quest kind of video games, you're actually exercising a lot of your analytical skills, right? Because you are playing it and you are having to think of how do I solve this problem, and as opposed to, for example, if you're just watching Netflix and you're just like binge watching a series, then maybe it's not going to be as stimulating. So if you are just looking for some fun and you're looking to improve your analytical skills, then maybe play a video game.
That's very fun. Okay. Kak Putri mungkin ada tambahan-tambahan?
I think it's very covers ya, tapi mungkin if I may add adalah lebih ke don't think too much, just explore yourself, meet a lot of people, karena sebenarnya yang bikin kamu pun analytical bagus adalah ketika when you face problem, kamu bisa lihat dari berbagai macam perspektif kan, and that will happen ketika kamu juga punya banyak information, punya banyak backgrounds gitu. Jadi when you see the problem, misalnya as simple as mungkin laptopku rusak gitu ya, you not only think about the chargernya doang, tapi sebenarnya ada di dalam laptop tuh apa sih? Berarti kan sebelum kita bisa sampai ke sana kan we need to have like a lot of information sampai kita bisa bikin kayak hypothetical 1 apa, hypothetical 2 apa gitu. I think sih made a lot of people gitu, karena sebenarnya untuk improve analytical thinking itu fun sih, as Mbak Dika juga tadi bilang kan, main game gitu. Sebenarnya in daily tuh bisa banget sih gitu.
Alright, thank you. Okay. Kita udah dapat banyak banget insight yang dari berbagai sisi ya. That's really cool. Okay, ada pertanyaan selanjutnya dari Shawnee. dia nanya, have you ever experienced inequality working? Like for example, you lost out on a promotion, etc., because of your gender. So she's currently working in the tech industry in the US, and she would love to say that there's still an overwhelming amount of men compared to women. And she's often reminded to stand up for herself since people tend to think that women are less capable in taking on the job. So, do you guys face the same problem? Mungkin kita bisa mulai dari dari Kak Radika kali ya.
Okay, so I mean, currently, I think everybody that is here, although we are working in the tech sector, but we are, I would say, more considered in the human resources. And human resources are actually most of the time more female dominated. So when it comes to our own careers, then I don't think this experience would be relatable because we are working in a more female dominated sector. But then I guess speaking from a human resource or people perspective, again, this comes back to finding out whether the company itself has any anti-discriminatory policies. And this is very important to find out because as Shawnee mentioned, like she's working in a company for the US in the tech industry. That is like probably the epitome of like modernity and like gender equality. But of course, that's not always the case. So no matter where you're actually working, that is still something to research for and maybe find a champion, find a person who can champion those rights, right? So for example, you're saying that you're working with an overwhelming amount of men in your team. So I wonder if there's any women who are maybe holding some sort of a senior position that you can talk to and you can ask for support, right? And like Putri mentioned, like even networking and even communicating with people in your company, like, is this a common practice, right? Because as much as you try to champion for yourself, like I think it's a matter of both, right? You have to champion for yourself, but you also have to be in an environment that nurtures that. Right? If you just keep on championing yourself, but the policies isn't there to support you, the environment isn't there to support you, then it's not really going to work. So you got to find if like, is a company actually okay, or is this actually a common practice for them to view men as like more superior? Maybe you can have a conversation with your HR team as well regarding this.
Thank you so much. I hope that will help you, Shawnee. And good luck for your work, Shawnee. We're here to support you. All right, another question dari Olivia. She's asking, what if, gimana kalau kita sebenarnya udah masuk ke field yang kita sebenarnya nggak suka because of the demands of the job, tapi kita mau coba untuk pindah ke tech field. Do we have to start all over again? Mungkin Kak Putri bisa bantu jawab.
Okay, so thank you for the questions. Ketika kita mau switch karir, gimana sih gitu ya? Do we have to start all over again? Mungkin kalau aku, I don't really like to stay like all over again, karena kalau all over again tuh kayak kita dari zero lagi nih gitu. Actually no, I mean whatever you learned previously pasti itu membentuk mindset kamu, membentuk things yang memang kamu udah learn sebelumnya gitu, and you don't have to throw away gitu. Misalnya kayak I'm psychology graduate, tiba-tiba mau jadi software engineer misalnya, I don't have to throw away my knowledge di psychology kan. Jadi sebenarnya udah kebentuk mindset psychology and I can use it when I code misalnya kayak gitu. Jadi supaya ada human perspektifnya. But then gimana caranya supaya aku bisa start atau switch career? Of course yang pertama kamu juga bisa cari tahu what I really want to do. Karena tadi seperti udah sempat dibahas di tech begitu banyak role yang kita bisa lakuin sebenarnya, dari coding, nggak coding gitu ya, PM, data analyst, business analyst, banyak banget gitu. So you can find out kira-kira kamu maunya di role apa. Kalau belum tahu spesifik, di list aja kira-kira yang mana gitu ya. And then you can meet a lot of people. Terus cari juga di internet biasanya requirement-nya apa sih gitu. Oh kalau software engineer kebanyakan pakai Java ya gitu. Atau misalnya kalau aku mau jadi business analyst, aku harus bisa apa ya, data analyst, aku harus bisa SQL misalnya kayak gitu. Jadi find out kira-kira dari yang kamu mau dulu posisinya apa, and then requirement-nya apa, baru nanti di narrow down lagi nih. Dari yang udah ada requirement ini, yang udah aku bisa tuh apa ya gitu, titik yang belum aku bisa gimana cara aku dapetinnya, bisa dari online course atau as simple as kalau dari aku sendiri biasanya aku ajak temenku yang engineer buat ngajarin sebenarnya kayak gitu, jadi gratisan ya gitu, bisa bisa juga kayak gitu. So find way yang memang menurut kamu works buat kamu untuk belajar, and then start to apply gitu. Banyak banget company yang mulai juga mereka tuh open for like fresh graduate gitu ya, atau kamu juga bisa mulai dari intern, so why not gitu sebenarnya. Jadi menurutku ketika kamu udah punya udah tahu nih kayak aku nggak suka yang sekarang dan aku mau berubah, that's already a courage sih menurutku. Instead of kamu aku takut berubah, aku mau stay di sini deh meskipun aku nggak suka. I think you should like kayak apa ya, appreciate yourself karena diri kamu tuh udah berani nih buat berubah. I think that's just like that courage and then just do it gitu. Nanti kalau ke depannya kayak gimana ya nobody knows sih sebenarnya gitu. I think that what you can do sih.
I love how all the insights from our speakers tuh kayak sangat-sangat doable gitu, sangat-sangat bisa dilakukan, and yeah, very bite-sized I think. Thank you so much Kak Putri. Okay, next question dari Jacqueline. Nah, pertanyaannya menarik nih. Apakah Glance, Tabsquare, dan juga Tanihub ada banyak women leaders? Maybe we can start from Kak Sisi.
Boleh. Nah, jadi kalau misalnya untuk di Green sendiri, sejujurnya aku ngerasa di sini gender equality banget sih gitu. Karena my direct report itu woman, and then she directly reported to country manager. Gitu. Jadinya banyak untuk country managerku sendiri itu direct reportnya lumayan banyak, ada beberapa yang wanita, dan untuk CEO ku sendiri itu ada juga direct reportnya ke wanita. Kayak gitu. Jadinya kita semuanya tuh based on performance, culture fit. Kalau misalnya based on performance review itu oke ya, kita akan promosiin kayak gitu. Jadi kita tidak ada yang namanya oh cewek nih baperan, kan ada ya mungkin beberapa company, tapi itu bukan di Glance. Kita nggak ada yang kayak gitu sih. Karena sebenarnya kalau menurutku juga gender cewek sama cowok sebenarnya nggak terlalu berpengaruh ya, baperan itu sifat bukan gender kayak gitu. Dan so far kalau di Glance kita benar-benar gender equality selama performance oke, culture oke, based on performance review ada nilainya juga kan, dan itu memenuhi dari syarat ya, itu will be get promoted gitu. Jadi jangan takut buat join Glance ya.
Kayaknya salah satu member Fempire juga ada yang dari Glance deh. Alright, so another one. Mungkin Kak Radika bisa juga tambahin.
Okay, sure. So, mungkin aku cerita dulu ya sedikit ya. So, when I actually first joined Tanihub back in 2019, I was hired as the HR VP specifically for tech. Okay, so they hired me basically to do recruitment, to do employee relations, employee engagement, all of this stuff, but very much focusing on tech. And at that time, the tech team only comprises of about 12 to 15 people. And there was one software engineer who was a woman, but then after a few days later I joined, she resigned. So we had 100% of all male software engineers in our tech team, right? And because I wanted to be a champion for women, empowerment and everything. So, I wanted to obviously focus on like hiring more women in tech, whether it was engineers, product, or whatever. But what I was actually very happy to find is that championship didn't only come from me. So I used to have very regular weekly meetings with our CEO, with our president, with our tech leads, and even at this point with our CTOs. And to this day, they are still requesting for more diversity and more women in the team, So it is a belief that is held throughout the company, I would say, especially in tech, because as I mentioned earlier, like when it comes to the other division, especially in people, it is already women dominated actually, but it's the tech team that, we need to champion more of, right? And I'm happy to report that as of this day, in the tech team, we probably have about 30 to 35 women in the team, starting from zero. So that's quite, I'm very happy to see that.
That is a happy news indeed. Kudos to you. Alright, kalau misalnya di Tabsquare gimana Kak Putri?
Okay, yeah, I think Tabsquare in terms of the teamnya sendiri, I admitted that memang masih male dominated ya in terms of software engineer, but that doesn't mean we don't hire for women sih sebenarnya gitu. Jadi actually di Tabsquare sendiri kita ada beberapa kayak QA manager kita itu perempuan gitu ya, female gitu. Basically apa namanya, ketika when it comes to like promotions and everything itu nggak pernah ada perbedaan whether this is like woman or male pun selama terkait dengan salary pun nggak ada perbedaan sama sekali sih sebenarnya kayak gitu. And as tadi Mbak Radika juga bilang, I think most important sebenarnya dari kepalanya dulu ya, dari foundersnya dulu, dari CEO-nya dulu gitu. Which yang what happens in my company juga salah satunya adalah you know when I have like a meeting with my CEO juga gitu, with founders gitu, ketiga foundersnya, and then my daughter cry gitu ya, and mereka tuh yang kayak oh, okay, you want to take care of daughter dulu nggak gitu, mau di apa namanya diemin dulu nggak anaknya gitu. Jadi mereka nggak yang kayak oh ini berisik nih ya ada anak kecil gitu, but they really supportive sih sebenarnya gitu. There was a time when I really need to take care of my daughter juga ya ketika lagi sakit dan lain sebagainya, and they very support me sih sebenarnya gitu. So yeah, I think not just only in my current company, but sekarang tuh udah banyak banget sih company yang mereka open for women gitu. Dan one thing for sure adalah ketika kamu ada di recruitment process, don't only think it's them assessing you, tapi juga kamu bisa assess company-nya gitu. Jadi bukan mereka yang pilih kamu aja, tapi kamu juga pilih sebenarnya company. If you think dari ketemu user atau dari ketemu HR, mereka udah kayak yang oh kamu kalau ada anak gimana kamu nanti kerjanya. Nah kalau menurut kamu udah pertanyaan yang agak misleading, yang okay, it's too personal, something like that, you don't have to choose the company sih sebenarnya gitu. So it's really important for you to also like know about the company culture sebelum join gitu, sebelum trap gitu ya. Gitu.
Wow. It is really refreshing to know that a lot of people are actually very supportive for us women, considering that our nature, you know, like that's very wholesome. Thank you. Okay, sebenarnya kita masih mau bacain banyak banget pertanyaan dari Fempres, tapi waktu kita nggak cukup. So I have one last questions for all of you. Jadi kakak, apa yang ingin kakak sampaikan untuk perempuan yang sedang butuh motivasi di perjalanan mereka, perjalanan karirnya di industri teknologi? Mungkin bisa mulai dari Kak Radika.
Oke. Mungkin yang aku pengen highlight adalah for women to actually enter a male-dominated space. I guess it's a very, I mean, especially in any sort of minority, you kind of feel kayak minder kan, you know, you feel like, oh my God, you know, they have to make space for me and I'm the odd one out. How am I going to keep up? How am I going to all this? Like, there's going to be a lot of self-doubt that enters, and even a lot of imposter syndrome, as Yeti mentioned earlier. But I think it would be helpful if you were to change that perspective and actually ask that, oh, if I was to join that team, I would actually be able to provide a different asset that they don't have right now because they are male dominated, you know. So as Putri said before, you know, they're not the only ones who's assessing you, you're the one who's assessing them as well, right? So if anybody starts to feel, you know, self-doubt when it comes to looking for jobs, when it comes to looking for different companies or which position, you know, which area of tech do you want to explore further on, then think that, you know what, I have an asset that I could actually bring to the table that if I wasn't there, then the company or the team wouldn't have that. So, you know, just flip it a little bit.
Thank you so much Kak Radika. Mungkin Kak Putri boleh kasih motivasi nih untuk teman-teman kita.
Okay, so apa ya motivasinya? Mungkin there's no difference between men and women sebenarnya. There's no difference, yang membedakan lebih ke capability kita sendiri gitu. So if there's still any like stigma or everything, it comes from our mind gitu. Jadi benar-benar dari awal we need to understand, we need to know ourselves, what we want to achieve, what we have, sehingga ketika kita again bertemu dengan kondisi yang mungkin susah banget, gue mau nyerah, again back tadi maunya ngapain gitu, goalnya gitu. Intinya don't be afraid of failure juga sih gitu, karena biasanya banyak yang aku takut malu deh kalau aku nanti nggak lulus probation gitu ya, atau aku kalau nggak lulus probation berarti aku nggak mampu kerja gitu. No, it's not like that gitu. It's about whether you fit with the company or not gitu. Nggak selalu semua tentang kita sebenarnya, nggak selalu semua tentang kita yang salah, kita yang kurang capable. No, it's not like that gitu. Jadi benar-benar cari apa yang kita mau sehingga kita juga bisa attract yang memang fit for us gitu sebenarnya. Don't be afraid of failure sih. Just tadi kayak dibilang ya, coba aja sih gitu.
Just do it. Oke, Kak Sisi.
Nah, kalau misalnya dari aku, always remember your ikigai sih gitu. Most of people kan selalu mention tentang passion ya gitu. Padahal it's not only about passion to can survive in this world kan gitu. Ini kalau misalnya passion tapi nggak bisa menghasilkan uang dan nggak dibutuhin sama dunia itu gimana? Jadi definisi ikigai adalah gimana kamu bisa menemukan passion kamu, yang passion itu bisa berguna untuk orang-orang, untuk masyarakat, bisa menghasilkan uang untuk keseharian kamu, dan juga kamu suka dalam melakukannya kayak gitu. Nah, kalau misal kamu udah tahu ikigai kamu itu, ya kamu selalu ingat aja. Jadi ketika kamu burn out, ketika kamu kehilangan motivasi atau apa, kamu ingat lagi ikigai kamu, apa sih yang pengen kamu achieve gitu. Itu buat teman-teman yang udah di dunia IT nih, karena obstacle tuh pasti di posisi apapun tuh ada kok gitu. Cuman gimana how we facing that obstacles aja gitu, dan rumput tetangga akan selalu terlihat lebih indah kayak gitu. Jadi ketika finding atau face an obstacle itu jangan langsung nyerah, tapi dilihat dulu obstacle-nya itu kenapa sih, dianalisis dulu gitu, dan how to solve that problems. Jangan sampai jadi malah ada impulsive decision karena ngelihat sekarang kan Instagram kayak semua orang tuh update di Instagram kan, kayak oh Mbak Radika enak nih hidupnya gitu kan misalnya, atau Mbak Putri kayak lebih ini deh kerjaannya gitu, padahal basically kita nggak tahu kayak apa yang Radika hadapi atau apa yang Putri hadapi, apa yang Intan hadapi gitu. Kita cuma tahu bagian yang senang-senangnya aja kan gitu. Jadinya semua orang tuh pasti ada obstacle ya gitu. Nah kemudian buat teman-teman yang mau masuk ke dunia IT, habis itu misalnya majornya nggak IT atau sekarang udah mulai kerja di first jobnya tapi ngerasa nggak sesuai gitu, teman-teman jangan merasa takut untuk switch karir. Kenapa? Karena kalau kita ngomongin karir itu bukan setahun 2 tahun, tapi itu puluhan tahun, bahkan bisa ya sampai kita pensiun misalnya kita kerja terus. Dan kalau misalnya teman-teman merasa aduh sayang nih udah 2 tahun kerja atau udah 1 tahun kerja, nah kalau misalnya dilanjutin tuh bakal jadi puluhan tahun yang menyiksa loh kayak gitu. Jadi it's better for you to switch your career now if you already know what is your ikigai gitu. Jadi don't be afraid, karena semua orang tuh pasti pernah ada failure-nya, tinggal kapan kita coret sih jatah failure-nya kita.
Wow, thank you so much. All the closing statements and motivation is really get through the screen. Thank you so much. Dan pertanyaan tadi juga menutup sesi panel kita pada hari ini. Terima kasih banyak Kak Putri, terima kasih banyak Kak Radika, dan juga Kak Sisi. Thank you so much for being here. We're so glad to have you guys here. Before you go, kita mau coba untuk have like a screenshot session, the four of us. So yeah, tim mungkin bisa siap-siap. Okay. Oh, we have so much thank yous from everyone. All right, kakak udah siap ya? Best angle, best smile. Let us know when it's done. Ooh, everyone is saying thank you. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, it's done. Thank you so much for everything, kakak. Thank you also for your smile. We love, and you guys look awesome, by the way. Thank you so much for the talk. All right. Well, yeah, we'll catch up later. Thank you, kakak. Dan terima kasih juga kami ucapkan untuk para Fempres yang sudah kasih kita banyak banget pertanyaan. Thank you for being so supportive during all the discussions and everything. Thank you for listening. Just to wrap up ya sedikit, kita udah dengar banyak banget cerita dari speaker kita yang luar biasa bahwa sebenarnya ada loh kesempatan yang besar untuk kita para wanita, perempuan untuk bisa masuk ke tech industry. Dan kalian jangan takut kalau misalnya kalian nggak punya background tech, karena these women, our panelists right here, mereka adalah bukti nyata bahwa mereka nggak mesti belajar atau punya background teknologi untuk bisa menjadi orang-orang yang berkecimpung di dunia ini. Dan yeah, just do it. Just do it. Don't forget to ask yourself. Jangan lupa untuk tanya ke dalam siapa kamu. Kemudian kamu harus tahu apa yang kamu suka, apa yang kamu nggak suka. Cari ikigai kamu, dan be true to yourself gitu. Jujur aja sama diri kamu sendiri. Apakah kamu butuh help? Apakah kamu butuh belajar lebih banyak atau apapun? Karena ternyata di industri teknologi orang-orangnya sangat-sangat supportive dan juga mereka punya growth mindset yang itu tentunya akan bisa membantu kita untuk bisa be better not only as a professional but also as a person. So don't forget to take care of yourself too. Then just go for it. Go for it. Don't regret anything. Okay. Sekarang sudah waktunya kita untuk main game. So, sekarang ada namanya Kahoot Game. Nah, oke, kalau misal kalian udah bisa lihat screen-nya, kalian bisa langsung aja buka browser kalian, terus klik atau ketik kahoot.it, kahoot.it, kemudian kalian bisa masukkan kode, ini game pinnya 7973080, harus sama ya game pinnya ya untuk bisa masuk ke situ, dan cuma ada 2 menit, kita kasih waktu teman-teman 2 menit untuk ke kahoot.it. Nah, ini untuk teman-teman yang mau dapat giveaway-nya dari Rose Cosmetics. You guys have to jump in right now. Oke, karena giveaway-nya nanti akan ditentukan dari sini. Alright, we already have some people right here. Oke, jangan lupa ya, kodenya harus sama teman-teman. Kodenya harus 7973080. Nah, reminder lagi nih teman-teman, kalau kita bakalan dapet Rose Liquid Love senilai 229.000 dari Rose Cosmetics. Oh my god. I really want that too, but I cannot do that. So it's okay, I'll buy one maybe. Okay. Kita udah punya beberapa Fempress di Kahoot ya. Oh iya, teman-teman juga harus masukin username Instagram teman-teman ya, biar nanti kita bisa DM teman-teman. Oke. Again, pakai username Instagram teman-teman, biar nanti pemenangnya kita bisa langsung DM ke Instagram. Alright, shall we? Oke, kita bisa mulai. Oke. Oh wow. We have a lot. Oke, sudah siap ya. Jadi teman-teman jangan lupa untuk kita bisa fokus karena game Kahoot ini akan sangat cepat. So, let's see. Alright, shall we start, y'all? Okay, we're gonna start in 10 seconds. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, let's start! Career Chat 1. This is the first game. Okay, be ready. Keynote speakers kita, Maria Yeti Khim, lulusan dari jurusan apa, teman-teman? Okay, you guys just answer, just click yang mana yang menurut kalian paling benar. French, Psychology, Architecture, Engineering. Kalau teman-teman tadi dengerin pasti udah pada tahu ya. Bisa langsung diklik aja. Nah, oke, waktu habis. You guys are good. There are 12 people who says French. Nice. Next question. Oh, wait. Sandri Nathan. You have a chance to win. So, okay, but for you guys yang belum benar, it's okay. It's alright. Posisi apakah yang terdapat di... terdapat paling sedikit pekerja wanita. Oke. Kalian bisa langsung klik aja jawabannya yang mana yang menurut kalian paling benar. Nanti semua jawabannya akan diakumulasi dan juga kita akan tahu pemenangnya. Masih ada kesempatan guys. Alright, let's see who won this round. Masih Sandrina Tan. Oke. Ayo yang lain jangan mau kalah ya. We're going to the next question. Salah satu panel speakers kita, Radhika Bakchandani, bekerja di mana ya? Ini kalau misalnya teman-teman tadi ikutan pasti tahu, pasti bisa jawab. Ini gampang banget ya. Langsung aja diklik. Nah, let's see who's going to win this round. Still, Sandrina Tan. Okay, this is quite hard to beat. Okay, guys, next. Oke, berdasarkan riset oleh BCG yang tadi kita sebutin, hal apakah yang tidak mempengaruhi wanita untuk memilih karir di tech industry? Okay, guys. You guys can just click whichever that you guys feel is true. Tadi udah ada ya, share screen-nya. Alright, let's see. Nadia Putri. Oke, sudah menyusul ya. Let's go to the next round. Random fact, apakah bentuk logo dari Mozilla Firefox web browser? Nah, oh this is, oh no. Oh oke, nggak apa-apa buat teman-teman yang belum bisa ikutan, it's alright, masih ada kesempatan di IG story ya. Oke, next. Siapa nih selanjutnya? Audrey. Good one. Alright, let's go next. Di bawah ini faktor internal yang dapat mendorong kesuksesan karir dalam tech industries adalah which one is it? Which one is it? I so cannot wait to know who's going to win this giveaway. Let's see. Masih Audrey di atas ya. That's really cool. Let's go next. Terakhir ya, common knowledge. Siapakah Menteri Pemberdayaan Perempuan dan Perlindungan Anak di Indonesia? Okay, guys. You guys should know this. Let's go. Okay, let's see. This is the podium. Wow. And here's the winner of the giveaway. Audrey! Congratulations, Audrey. Wow, kamu sudah memenangkan giveaway Rose Cosmetics. Congratulations. Jangan lupa untuk chat Instagram username kamu dan nanti kita akan chat kamu di Instagram. Congratulations Audrey dan congratulations too, and thank you so much for all Fempras who have been joining the game. It was fun, right? Terima kasih ya teman-teman. Okay, dan we also have, kita udah punya pemenang dari giveaway story. Sudah siap? Sudah siap ya teman-teman ya? So, we would love to congratulate Eugenia Shawnee for winning the second giveaway. Congratulations, Eugenia. Kalian akan mendapatkan Rose Liquid Love senilai 229.000 dari Rose Cosmetics. Thank you so much for you guys, and thank you so much Rose Cosmetics for the giveaway for the product We really, really love that. Thank you so much. Oke, terima kasih banyak buat teman-teman yang sudah hadir pada hari ini. Terima kasih juga untuk semua tim yang bertugas pada hari ini. Shout out to you guys are doing great. Dan terima kasih banyak sekali lagi kepada seluruh panelis dan juga pembicara. Makasih Kak Yeti, Kak Sisi, Kak Radika, dan juga tentunya Kak Putri. Dan kita juga mau berterima kasih kepada sponsor kita, Rose Cosmetics, and also our media and community partners, Antia, Girls Code, Woman Beyond, Tech for ID, SGIT, Love Me Love You, and also Cornerstone Careers. Dan ya, Fempire Team, you guys rocks. Dan juga teman-teman yang sudah ikut event kali ini, terima kasih. Dan juga jangan lupa follow us and see you guys at our upcoming event. Dan kalian bisa langsung aja follow our Instagram, LinkedIn, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and also join our community di WhatsApp dan juga Telegram. Kalian bisa langsung aja scan barcode di sini and join us, or you guys can just check our link in our Instagram bio. Oke teman-teman, aku Chandra Intan. Aku mohon maaf apabila ada kesalahan atau kekurangan. Jangan lupa untuk ikut our another career chat yang kedua yang berjudul Game Changers in Tech on the 29th of August. Jadi tanggal 29 Agustus kita akan ketemu lagi dan thank you so much for everything. Wish you guys well and health and protection from God and a lot of blessings and of course success. Well, aku Intan pamit undur diri. Sampai jumpa di acara berikutnya. Bye Fempress.
But I found my way to velvet change. I'll crash right into evil caught in a way. If I will carry you over, it don't matter where we are. You're still the one I choose. When my echoes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question.
Hi, my name is Sheena and I'm the founder and director of Rose Cosmetics, and I'm here to introduce you to our Liquid Love. Liquid Love is a liquid to satin blush that comes in 3 universally flattering shades. We made Liquid Love to be your go-to staple in your makeup kit to be able to take on all of your adventures of life. That being our goal, we created our product to be long-lasting,